The seven sister elms no longer stand as majestic icons, steadfast and proud. Their dense foliage no longer shimmering against wispy clouds. Their orchestral maneuvers no longer whispering whimsical sounds. No more swirling and thrustling and scurrying in hypnotic splendor. Their presence now become an absence. Totter's Hamlet, a place of 1,000 years unrolled, the vestibular thoroughfare where pass men of evil, of reigns of evil. The king is dead, long live the king, his hell-bent will be done, his iniquitous law uncompromisingly bound, garrottingly tight. In Tottenham can be traced the barbarous history of times of empire and slavery, sinewy shadows of the dehumanized, black ghostly figures punctuating Totter's streets, the enslaved, hovering in wretched abjection, shrouded in dark recesses of Totter's streets, casting shimmering waves of energized black, all-absorbing light, sublimely undermined and soul sacrificed, under existential attack, destitute, manacled, and strapped. Outlawed ab initio, left forlorn outside the law, abandoned to the sadomasochistic whims of a rampaging, maniacal master. A miserable, morose, and corroded existence, haunted by its legacies. The street corners reflect this past, the longest march to freedom of all time. Street names mock my pain-consumed memories, for cast of tyrants, those men of violence, instigators of empire and the mighty's right syndrome. Dongola Road screams of Dongola's defeats and mass slaughter of innocent Sudanese. Kitchener's Road in glory of Kitchener's bloodthirst at the Battle of Omdurman. The slaughter of tens of thousands in a single battle, butchered on their own soil and dumped in mass graves. Napier Road honors the tyranny of Lord Napier's brutal destruction of Magdala and theft of the Ark and those golden and learned scripts of the Covenant. Lawrence Road pays in homage to the Viceroy Lawrence's brutalizing bite. Those and more immortalized and lionized, made part of my daily life, left floundering, drowning in the legacies of my demise. The life and times of empire, built on the deluded belief of white infallibility, gasping and grappling, choking on its own gluttonousness. Un, deux, trois, vous êtes bête noire, tagged and ready to be body bagged, emanating the shock and awe of an unrelenting hurricane. Storms, its uproarious energies unleashed, and the wind rushed in, whoosh, bish, bash, bosh, everything changed, never to be the same again. Organized, not agonized, the uproarious winds cried, in search of the light of a new paradigm, into sink roots, to congregate and disestablish, to endeavor and enterprise. Our shared space become our bookstores and libraries, reservoirs of treasures, Head Start books and the Marcus Garvey Library, our troves of learning, stirring minds, agitating for change, the Caribbean Times, West Indian World, raising pride and powering our word. Carrier Press, nurtured and represent the griots of our times. Chedo Film and Arts Collective, protective of the integrity of our image in the battle of acculturation. Rasta Universal Zion, meters and rhymes of our heart as it beats, lub-dub, 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 lub-dub. Our creators in custody, guardians of our legacies, safeguarding our intellectual space, our breath of life, our cultural grace. The African reparation movement, birthed on Tottenham's now hallowed turf and spread like firestorm across the world. Our name and our struggles, boasting in Tottenham, we do not agonize, we organize, we act and fight. Seeking not just to survive, but to forge and mold into a fist of tensile steel, deliberate and subsumed. I feel no fear. Although at times persisting in a state of near siege, I am the architect of change, the progenitor of rights. I fight, I can never be tamed. To be entrapped and enforced inaction, in entanglement and addicted to emptiness, kicking and screaming, I strategize to contrive the moment. Tottenham, probably the most ethnically diverse space on the face of earth. It's disenfranchised, disaffected and disarrayed, ruthless and in search of meaningful endeavor, driven by misaligned allegiances of an engineered confusion, resultant diffusion, stoking tension, fueling disruption and entrenching despair. The ever-present accompaniment of strife hangs heavy in the air. Life like an anchor. It changed the populace inside a chaotic cauldron of confinement, pinned into ghettoized lives, brutality sanctioned by the authorities of the state. Still outside the protection of the law, it starts to dawn. It's a rat in a trap syndrome. Drugs, guns, knives, mauled and blooded, you self-destruct. Hey, who the fuck are you looking at? Hard nuts, you know, the sort that cannot be cracked. Promulgating obituaries and collapsing families, shaped by a cynical and deliberate disregard, sealed within stereotype binds, in tight coalition, lobotomized, wearing hauntingly glazed, devoid eyes, mask a soul irreparably traumatized. One lives or one dies. If one dies, one ceases to know and feel, but if one lives, the daily pain excruciatingly driving one insane. It's just insane. Tenaciously fixated, we internalize. Challenged by a sort of anti-future, all aspiration aspirated out, subcultured into an infinity. No one seems really to understand just what life in Tottenham is all about. Lions caged in by the nondescript. Around here, it's always time. It's always the time to stand and be counted. A revolutionary synthesis planted, pioneering a truly inspired sense of self. The time is to chart a path to a more harmonious sense of place in an appropriately shared space. And as the painful realization dawns, this is back home. We make it our own.